Hey, Roger Brown here, UMG Energy, and I want to talk to you today about the power of consistency and how it's an element in not only what we do with energy cost reduction, but it's also an element in everything that you or that I will do for the rest of our lives. Everything that involves learning a new system, taking a course, whatever it is, a new language. And I'm going to give you an example of where I'm coming from. I learned about 15 years ago, give or take, how to fly a helicopter. And it was the first thing that really stumped me in my life, where I felt like I might not be able to do this. And I started out, and the rule of thumb in the helicopter training industry is it usually takes you 8 or 10 hours before you can hover, meaning just being stationary, 3 or 4 or 5 feet off the ground, not moving around, being in control of this thing. And I go through 8-10 hours and I'm thinking, I still can't do this. I can't control this thing. It's got a mind of its own. It's a very difficult thing to do. No, I just kept pushing ahead, but I remember going home to my wife and saying, this may be something I just can't do. Maybe I just can't fly a helicopter. Well, as soon as I said that, about 2 hours later, all of a sudden I found the hover button, so to speak. All of a sudden it went from being the hardest thing in the world to the easiest thing in the world. And I couldn't imagine how I could not have done it. How could anybody not hover a helicopter? And what I'd done unwittingly, I had allowed myself to benefit from this consistent daily input. I was flying every day. And not only the volume of those hours kicked in, but also this fourth element that I can't really describe. And it's very hard to articulate, but this knowledge and this muscle memory and all these different things start to coalesce and take on a life of their own. And that's what tipped me over the edge. And that's usually what happens with any kind of learning, whether it be a foreign language or whether something we've probably all done, which is learning how to ride a bicycle. The same thing. You think you'll never be able to, and then all of a sudden you can. And it's the easiest thing in the world. Well, that works with courses that we take, that works with foreign languages, that works with anything that we're going to do. We're brought up in a society that thinks if it can't be obtained instantaneously, it has no value. And I'm here to tell you that there's nothing that you have done, that I have done, or nothing you and I will do that has an instantaneous gratification element to it that's worth anything. Everything that we want has a timeline. Everything we want has plateaus where we're going to feel like we've failed, and we'll think, what's the point of this thing? And if we'll stay on the plateau, if we'll push through it, if we'll take the course, we'll follow all the advice that somebody has, not some of it, not give it a couple of swings and expect to be making $1 million. If we will take these things in our lives that have these timelines to them and accept the fact that we're not doing these things overnight. We're not going to get good at them overnight. We've got to marinate in them long enough to let this fourth element kick in. And it will kick in. I want you to have faith that everything you're trying to do, whether it be any of these, taking a course, learn a language, whatever, if you will stay with it, you will absolutely succeed at it. But you got to have faith. You got to have faith in the consistency of these daily inputs. That's what you got to do. Put one foot in front of the other. If you're committed to putting one foot in front of the other, you're going to get where you're going. But you got to do it every day. Now, how do you do it every day? Do you just think of it and think, did I do it today? I can't remember if I did it yesterday or not. You got to mark it down. We're very visual creatures, us human beings, and if we can get a little calendar, do the Jerry Seinfeld system, which is to take a calendar, physical monthly calendar, and make a mark on it every time we've done that, and that string will motivate us. That string of days where we're consistently taking the action that we plan to do will be very motivating, and we see that visually that we've actually done it. and it will create that momentum, and it'll create those results that we want. So put a check mark on a monthly calendar when you've done that small action. It doesn't have to be a very big action, just consistent daily action. It works. Try it.